Hello, today can we talk about zippers? I want to talk to you guys about using zippers for our in the hoop projects. That is using a zipper on a design that we make on the embroidery machine that then turns out to be sort of a 3D type end result like a zipper bag, and we are using these zippers to make them on that machine. So first of all, there are two common types of zippers. There's number 3 and there's number 5. There are many more sizes of zippers available, but there are two common types or common sizes in this nylon zipper that we use on In the Hoop project. So you guys heard me say nylon. That is very important because what we want is a zipper. Sometimes they say polyester or nylon on them. It is a zipper that looks and maybe even feels a little bit like it's a metal zipper, but it's not. So even this, though it is a silver and it looks like metal, it's a nylon zipper. So I know that because when I purchased it, I made sure that it was a sewing embroidery nylon zipper. So this type, and I have so many things up here because I don't want to leave something out. So though this is, what do they call this? Gunmetal. And it looks like it is a metal, right? It's gunmetal color, but it is also a nylon zipper. So first of all, we need the zipper to be nylon, and it could say polyester. What we do not need is for the zipper to be a metal tooth or metal teeth zipper, right? So something like this is a heavy zipper. It's much, much heavier than something like this. I can feel this, that though this might look like it's metal to me, but not once I've touched this. And so this is metal. This is a real metal zipper. This is a split like jacket zipper. And so we can sew with these. You just still have to be really careful of where your teeth land, and so that it's not hitting this because the needle cannot penetrate this. When you're on your embroidery machine, as far as I have ever known, we don't use this metal zipper at all. I think if you're very experienced and you're doing something with a zipper, you can figure that part out. Like if you're just stitching and it's not going across or whatever, you can figure that out. But for the most part, we are not using metal zippers in our embroidery projects. I never do. So I have these for a sewing project that I plan to do. And I will be stitching on both sides and making sure to steer clear away from those metal teeth. And so I said, two common sizes, a number 3 and a number 5. Now they both work the same. When you are sewing, I feel like a lot of times the 3 and the 5 are really kind of interchangeable, and it's a personal preference because when you're on a sewing machine, it depends on your presser foot and your skill as to how close to that zipper you're going to get. And so you can just adjust that. You can figure out when you're sewing how to inch that or ease that under your foot and get close to those zipper teeth, or to get wherever it is you need to get for your project. And so no matter if you're using a 5 or a 3, if you're using a 5, I said, so it's the number is the size or the width of the teeth, but then the tape is a little bit different. So the 3 has about a 1-inch tape across this way. And so that means that you only have less than half an inch on either side to get that right? To stitch on the side and not be stitching on the teeth, or not stitch too close to the teeth where you can't even pull the zipper down. So you have a little bit less space. When you're using a number 5, so you have a little wider teeth area, right? You have a wider area. It's it's about 5 millimeters wide, but your tape, the whole width of the zipper is a little more than 1 inch. So you have more space to play around, that this is going to get under your project and you're going to be able to get close in there, or you don't have to get as close and you still are connecting your zipper within your project. So number 5 gives you a little more area. Number 3 is a little smaller. So then it comes down to personal preference. I personally like number 5 zippers. I feel like when I buy a bag like this and I have this kind of nice dangly zipper, it just adds to the look of the bag, right? And so and it's bigger. So I like a larger dangly zipper pull. That's just my personal preference. So let's talk about number 5 first, since it's my favorite. When you buy a zipper, if you buy a zipper that is already put together, it has a zipper pull already on the teeth and it has a stop at the end, then a lot of times, probably not all the time because there are so many variations out there of everything, but you're going to get this kind of little triangle-y kind of zipper that just flips back and forth. And it works. It's good. If that's what you have, use that. It's perfect to start with. And actually, it leaves one less thing for you to worry about, right? Because as I said, when you have a zipper pull that's dangly, the kind I like, you also have to be sure that you're not letting that pull end dangle in your stitch area. So these are perfect to start with. But I feel like once you start sewing or making your in the hoop projects, depending on what it is you're making and what you want it to look like based on whatever other hardware you're using, you will decide if you want to buy pre-made zippers or if you want to buy zipper tape. And so when we're saying zipper tape, we're talking about just the fabric with the teeth connected, and then you have to put your own pull on there. So when you buy zipper tape, you can often buy it like this. These are all different colors of tape, and they come with this package of multicolored pulls. Or you can buy this tape, and it looks like it has metal. So this looks like gunmetal. This is a number 3. You go over there. This one has like a silver. And then there are these just beautiful zipper pulls. So this is a bow. This is a heart. So you could have gold zipper teeth and use this gold zipper pull. There are cruise ships, coffee cups, and these are all gunmetal. So you can either match them or mix them. This is a spool of thread. So if you're making a bag for a sewist or an embroiderer, this is a stethoscope with a heart. And so it's a dangly pull. This is my preference. It does not make or sew any different. It's just the look that I like. I like a number 5 dangly pull. So I do have some of these kind of flat pre-made zippers, and I use these. Sometimes if I'm just gonna make a simple little zipper thing for something or for my grandkids or something, I will use these. But if I am making a special bag that I have picked out the fabric for to match the person, then I like to use a number 5 with a specialty dangly pull. So that's our number 5. This is number 5 zipper tape, and it is a flowered tape. It looks like it has a bronze color, but it's also a nylon zipper. And so any of these could work on there. I have some bronzy pulls. Oh, here's one. So this is a heart. Let's see if I can open this. And it's probably perfect for that. It's kind of an antique-y looking heart, or are those leopard things? I'm not sure. It's like embossed, and it would fit perfectly on this. And so this is metal, this is not. And so we'll talk about where you place these, especially when we get over to the machine. So these are my number 5s. Number 3s, same thing. There are some dangly number 3 pulls that you would use on tape if you buy zipper tape. If you buy zipper tape, this is just a piece that I've cut, and those work, but I like the bigger pulls. And so it's a matter of choice. You can pick. If you're doing a project that's a small little bag, a little center zip that you clip on a key ring or something, you might want a small zipper pull. If you buy your zipper just like this number 5, that's a pre-made zipper, then it's gonna come with a little triangle-like, just flip up and down zipper. These work too. The one thing about buying a pre-made zipper is you have to be aware of the size. And so when you're doing your project, I say about 2 inches. So you need about 2 extra inches of this zipper. So this zipper is about, from pull to, from cap or zipper, the tip to, because this is metal, the end cap, the end, zipper end, to the pull, it's about 10 inches. And so I would not make a bag probably wider than 8 inches with this, because you'll see when we get to the machine, this metal has to be outside of the sew area, and this pull has to be outside of the sew area. And so to give me enough room, I would not want my sew area to be further out than where my fingers are, right? So I would make a placement stitch, lay this down, making sure that these ends are out further than the size of my project, and then I would tack this down. So it's usually going to give you a stitch across the top. I can lay this here. A stitch across the top and a stitch across the bottom, right? But then when your project's almost done, if there's extra, so if you've used a long zipper like this and you only need this much, you're going to cut off this end, but this end you're going to open your zipper and then finish your project. So you will end up cutting off a portion of this end, but your zipper pull will end up somewhere in the middle or something, and your instructions will tell you what to do with that. And that is often to have a turn hole at the end and to get that zipper out of the way. You don't want to finish your project with your zipper down here on the outside and your bag is here. Your zipper's out there. When you cut that at the end, when you finish up the edge of your bag, your zipper's out there. You won't have a way to open the bag, right? You have just made a need for you to either take it apart or start over. And so it's just something that we'll get to as we dive deeper into making zipper bags. And so let's see, so we have a number 3 pre-made zipper, a number 5 pre-made zipper. And it's not about the length. You can get number 3 pre-made just as long as this number 5, and you can get number 5 pre-made just as short as this number 3, right? Longer is better because you can always cut them down to size. So if you're buying a big pack off of Amazon and you're feeling like, oh, I'm only going to use it for 5-inch bags, but it's a 9-inch zipper, I would probably pay the extra $1 and get the pack of longer zippers, so because you can always cut them down, right? But then you can't use a zipper that is too short. So if this zipper stop were to end up in your stitch area, then that zipper is too short to use. So we have, what did I say? I said number 3 and number 5 pre-made. And then we have number 3 and number 5 zipper tape, matter of choice. The thing with embroidery is you need to be sure that your pattern calls for the zipper size that you have. And so if the pattern is made, and you get over there, for a number 3 zipper, then the placement and tack down is going to be to accommodate this width of a zipper, this size zipper, so that then the tack down lines will be in the right place, not to hit the teeth. If your design, if your zipper bag or your stuffy or your whatever you're making with a zipper, your pocket is going to be for, if it was digitized and it's for a number 5 zipper, then your placement box or lines are going to be a certain width apart, and your tack down stitches are going to be a certain width apart to facilitate this size zipper. So it's number 3 and number 5. Some patterns you buy, I think there are some digitizers who make the zipper placement and tack down kind of universal, and they have just found the sweet spot right in between both, and they make that placement and tack down, right? So I feel like if it's that kind of pattern, your number 5 zipper may hang over the edges a little bit, and you'll see as we get in what I mean, but you're centering the teeth or the middle, right? But most patterns that I've run into are either made for a number 3 or a number 5 zipper or zipper tape. I usually put on my zipper pulls just by sliding them on, and that is because that's how I started. Now there are jigs that you can buy, and I would not dare using this jig because I have not tried it. I'm just used to just putting them on, and it is a learn thing like anything else. The more you do it, the easier it gets. But I just find the side that has the furthest sticking out tooth, and I put it in, and then I stick the other side in. I try to make sure they're somewhat even. I pull them both up. I lay my zipper down and I pull. And so I don't have a use or a need for a jig, but they are very helpful. And so I'm not saying don't use a jig. I'm just saying I have not used one. I did purchase this a while ago so that I could get familiar with using them, and I just haven't. But hopefully during this kind of series of zipper bags in the hoop, I will try one and make sure that I got it right, and then I will bring it to you and show you. So I just get it on there. And I feel like when I first started, it was a lot of trial and error. It might have taken me 5 or 10 times with that zipper falling on the floor, popping everywhere, coming back out, going on crooked. But eventually it just got to the place where it's just the easy thing to do. And so it's doable. It's like anything. The more you practice, then you can do it. So there are all kinds of zipper jigs. And I know of one that I just saw this weekend at Sewcation here in Las Vegas. And I'll put that link on here. I will list the link to it. And it looked pretty good. And so what else? So I told you number 5s, pre-made, zipper tape, all done. The next thing is I'm gonna go over to my machine and bring in the design, hoop a piece of stabilizer, and make a placement and a tack down stitch for these 2 sizes of zipper. I think I'll just use the pre-made zipper tape, so it'll just be easy. And I will show you how that goes, and then we'll be done. So I'm going to sew on 2 zippers. I'm using a cutaway stabilizer, which is what I usually will use when I'm making a zipper bag. More recently, I started using no-show mesh a little more. And then and if it's a wet bag, like a baby wipes holder or some kind of something that might have, I don't even know, something wet in it, then I will even use plastic sheeting as my stabilizer. So it really just depends on the bag that I'm making. I did. So I'm gonna rotate it, set. So I have the 2 here. It looks like the number 3 is at the top and the number 5 is at the bottom, and I can just tell by the width of the design. And so it's gonna give me placement, and then it's gonna tack down the zipper. I'm gonna put a stop there, I'm gonna stop there and there, because I just wanna be able to show you. So I was saying I will use tearaway, cutaway, no-show mesh, or plastic sheeting, depending on the project. And so let's just get this hooked. I like my stabilizer to be down there. Okay, and 2 zippers. I don't know if this one, what did I say this was? 10 inches. Yes, it'll be long enough. And so we're gonna say embroider. I'm going to make the color. So I'm gonna do red for everything so that we'll be able to see it. Okay. 9. Okay, so when you have a project that has a zipper, usually the zipper is gonna be first. Now there are some projects where it's not, but we're not getting too deep in projects right now. And so the first thing, here we're just showing, I want you to see the stitching over the zipper. So if you are afraid of your machine stitching over this nylon zipper, or actually it's not even, will it stitch over it? No, it's not. It's going to give a line on both sides, but at the end of a project, it would stitch over it. I am going to back it up and allow it to stitch over it because I just want you to see. And so here we go. So first it's going to give me the placement stitch of the first zipper. And so that is simply, oh, it is the larger one's going first. I did maintenance on my machine, and so I'm looking and hoping that my needles are in tight and nothing crazy is going to happen. So I need some tape. Okay. So this is what I meant when I said it will give you a placement line. And so basically I want to lay my zipper, center it in that line, and so that the center of this zipper hits that center line, right? So if all zippers are not created equal, the box may not be the perfect width. Maybe it's a little narrow or something, a millimeter or 2, right? But if I tape down my front end and then I hold my zipper up and I make sure that that center placement is hitting that center line, then we are all good. And I'm going to grab another piece of tape and tape that down and seal. Like that. And so I think that is good. There are paper tapes and other tapes, like if you're just starting and you're feeling like you need a little more security, like some kind of tape you can stitch over, you can explore those options. But for the most part, this works pretty good at stitching both ends. And so right now, I'm gonna rerun that so you can see that the machine can go over these zipper teeth. Because I didn't think about this when I just digitized this little pattern. I didn't think about you weren't gonna get to see it go over. Did that work? Yeah. Oh, but I don't want it to go in the middle. So once it gets, see, it's going over the zipper. It's going up at the top. It's gonna come back down, and then I'm gonna stop it because I don't want it to close my zipper off. And so that was just for demonstration purposes. I want you to see. So stop and cut. And so just so you see and know that our embroidery machines are capable of stitching over and through these nylon zippers. These are much less dense than our fingers. It can go right through without a problem. I do slow my machine down when I'm doing in the hoop projects usually because I'm thinking and working and there are moving parts and needing to cut and all the things. So the next step, so remember I moved that up, which was really not what you're gonna do. I just wanted it to go over the zipper for you. So now the next step when you're putting on the zippers, it's gonna take it down. It's gonna give us a line at the top and at the bottom of the zipper. So that's where we are now. I'm gonna say okay. And so somewhere right in there, depending on the bag and what amount of clearance I needed to leave for that zipper, I'm gonna put my tack down line. So this is one way, and then it should hop up to the top, and then go back that way, and it has tacked the zipper down. So this zipper is now ready to add some fabric, some vinyl, some quilt material, some velvet, some any kind of material, some neoprene to make a zipper bag. And so it has tacked the zipper down. And so just like a sewing machine, I tacked my zipper down. And so there are my two lines. It is on there and it's secure. And so I'm gonna do the same thing for the number 3. I don't think I'll back it up this time. We're just gonna go through and do the whole thing. So it's gonna give me a placement line, which for my patterns, it's a box with a center line to center your zipper. You have to look at the design that you're making because different digitizers do it differently. Some will have just a line at the top and bottom. Some, like there are just different ways. Some may not really give you a center line. They're just gonna give you the 2 outer lines and you just center it in the middle of those lines. And so there are multiple ways and no way is right or wrong. It's a personal preference of both the digitizer and then yourself. So there it is. It gave me the box, the placement box, and the center line to center my zipper. So I'm gonna lay it there. I'm gonna grab 2 pieces of tape and I'm going to tape it down just like that. It's in between. I did not even look behind it because I made the line. I'm pretty confident in that it's pretty much in the center. I can see the bottom line there and the top line there. It's in the center. I know my machine, which is another thing. If your bobbin case or your needle plate is very puffed up on your machine or your machine does some certain thing, you just get to know it and you will know how you need to secure that. Like if it goes, oh, when it gets to that side, it's kind of crooked or something, you know, all machines are not created equal. And so I know my machine and I know that at this speed is not going to push the zipper too far or do anything just out of character to mess up my alignment. So I don't need extra tape. I'm going to show you where I used to. So I started off making bags on my PE 770. And I feel like it was either because of my inexperience or it was the machine. I'm not sure now. But I used to have to tape my zippers down a little bit better. And I'm going to show you what I had to do. Okay, hold on. So I would take like just a cheapy Scotch tape, like a thin kind, like a magic tape that's going to come off easily. And I might put a piece right in the center and right up there. Because I feel like as my machine, I don't know if it was the presser foot, would push down, then my zipper would always come out crooked. Now I see this blue one is a little crooked, but that's probably more of my doing it is than anything, because I tried to re-tack it down and it's on the line here and not down there. But the green one looks pretty straight. I just did it my regular way. But if you need to hold that down, and that's gonna come with trial and error, you will figure out your machine and how it's gonna handle pushing, like that presser foot coming down and pushing against your zipper tape or whatever it might do, you know, making sure that you're hooped tightly so that there's no movement. And again, there is nothing to be afraid of. I think the two things that we should or could be afraid of in making, you know, using our machines at all is, one, us getting hurt, so getting your finger in the way, and two is damaging your machine. And I don't mean like a broken needle, because the other day I did break a needle, which was so uncharacteristic of my machine. Like that has never been a problem. And so I've had a broken needle, but I do know that the needle was dull. I've been doing a lot of patches with a lot of felt, and it was time a week ago for me to do maintenance on my machine. So, and I don't know if it had fallen out some, there was just something. So that needle came down, and as soon as it touched the zipper, so it didn't hit the zipper teeth, but as soon as it came down and hit down, I think that was using faux leather and whatever layers. As soon as it hit down, it just broke. And so our needles will break. They will do that sometimes, and that is not, as long as your face or something's not in the way and you're not getting hurt, you just change your needle and keep going. But we don't want to permanently damage our machine or knock the timing off, which is why we're not using metal zippers in our machine. We are using, even if they look metal, you're making sure that you're buying nylon, and they could say polyester zippers or zipper teeth, right? The pulls are metal and the stops are metal, but we are keeping that outside of the area. So I think that is it for zippers for today, because it might be a lot. Hopefully I'm going to be able to link the jig that I saw this weekend, and it was from the Bay Bag Company, By the Bay Bag Company, Bag Co. And I will link that link. I will add that link. And then the others, I believe, are in my Amazon store. And so I'll double check that I bought zippers for years and years. And I have a stock of zippers that I would be ashamed to share. And so, so that's it. So I will be back over the course of these upcoming weeks, sharing more Let's Make Some Zipper Bag tips. Again, I'm Shantae from Stitching Hearts Embroidery. I facilitate a school community where we do all things in the hoop. And over there, I mainly share software navigation. I help you open your software and navigate through it, learn about the buttons and the how-tos, and then how you can make simpler things, usually flats, like bag tags and patches, key fobs, like the simpler basic things. And then once you have made at least 10 good zipper bags, not 10 practice, but once you are in there and you are understanding zipper bags, if you want to learn, like go to the next level and learn more about digitizing, then I do offer one-on-one sessions for that. And so again, come over and hang out with us in school at Stitching Hearts Embroidery, and make sure, if this video was helpful to you, that you like and subscribe and turn on your bell for notification, so you'll know the next time that I drop a video. And I will see you guys later with the next step. First, it'll be these tips, right? So the next step to get ready to make a zipper bag. See you guys later. Bye.